Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice. I am doing a deep dive into each of the songs that's nominated for Best Metal Performance in the 66th Grammy Awards. Next on my list is an artist that has won a Grammy before, but not in metal, in rock. This is going to be Disturbed performing Bad Man. Let's get to it. Oh.
Own salvation. Bad man, you've been mad man. You can never return, and you're never gonna find redemption now. Bad man, another man. Oh, bad man, what's the reason why? Oh, innocence always have to die by your hand. No, I will never understand why these cowards bow to your demands are all victims of another bad man.
Okay, I feel like I've got like a first good impression of a good chunk of the song here. And it definitely has a very heavy feeling to it, a lot heavier than some of Disturbed's earlier stuff. I particularly like the way that David Draiman enunciates things. His enunciation has so much punch to it. He is supporting each syllable, each consonant with air pressure that is really coming from like below his diaphragm. There's so much in his technique that goes to supporting consonants and having very, very rhythmic delivery. And I think it really shows in his music the way that you hear that drive behind his voice. It almost feels like there's some sort of rap element, almost like a slight mixture in of Rage Against the Machine. And I'm a big fan of David Draiman's vocals overall. I just got to put that out there. He's an amazing person too. Had a chance to interview him a while back about all kinds of things. But we really talked a lot about mental health, and it was an amazing interview, very inspiring. We're going to go back to the beginning. I want to dig into a lot of these moments really, really deeply. Fascinating visuals. Okay, I spoke at the wrong time there because there is a really cool buildup. I like the way that it almost sounds like your volume is too low at first, and then it just slams you. There is no mercy whatsoever in this intro. Super heavy. So his sibilance in particular is something that feels like it's smacking me across the face, or rather across the ears. S's are, they possess something called sibilance. It really shows up as this very high, bright center of sound when you're talking about EQ and talking about frequencies that things happen at. And sibilance tends to be rather high, sort of a fuzz, not a line, like a pitch. And some people are very, very sensitive to sibilance. Opera singers tend to have a lot of sibilance in their sound because they build up a ton of air pressure behind an S. And our post-production stuff can help tame that. Believe me, when I've done tons of recordings since just doing opera and been closer to mics, the producers always talk about taming opera sibilance. It's a thing. David Draiman actually has quite a bit of aggressive sibilance in there too. It almost is like something where it can grab the attention and be aggressive in a really, really good way. I think they've tamed it in just the right amount in this production. You hear his lyrics very clearly, and the sibilance is sharp enough that it feels a little bit disturbing, which fits very well.
Man, such a sad man. Such a sad. Never enough. Will you ever find a new obsession? What a bad man, like a blind man, so lost in the dark, still searching for his own salvation.
there are phrases in there like "you can never return." If I just say "you can never return," you don't catch the rhythmic integrity that his vocal is carrying. It's almost like his vocal is a drum kit of its own. So many vocalists rely on the instrumentalists to keep the rhythm for them, and they just sing on the top. And that probably annoys their bandmates. You can never return. He goes to his he goes to the ends there, never return, closes to the V a little early too, to really emphasize those consonants. Those consonants are the primary place that we are finding our rhythm, all of that subdivision in the vocal line. We get that in the consonants. Check that out one more time.
And what a bad man, like a blind man, so lost in the dark, still searching for his own salvation. Bad man, you've been mad man, you can never return, and you're never gonna find redemption now. Bad man, a bad man, another man. Oh, bad man, what's the reason why? Oh, innocence, always have to die by your hand. No, I will never understand why these cowards bow to your demands are all victims of another bad man.
Wow. There's a lot of anger in his singing. And righteous anger is what it feels like. And David Draiman just has, he definitely has a message that he wants to sing to people. And I like the way that I think this song is originally inspired by Putin and the war in Ukraine. But it has been really, I think they said it could be applied to so many different situations. I think there are tons of situations where we see people, men and women, who are in a position of power and abuse it and don't serve the people that they are elected or are put in that position to serve. And I think you can just hear the fury in his sound. He's great at expressing anger in his voice. It's one of the magnificent things about his vocal. I'm going to go back one more time.
Oh, innocence, always have to die by your hand. No, I will never understand why these cowards bow to your demands are all victims of another bad man. Bad man, no, you didn't think that we were.
Ooh, that was really cool. I like that. The way it was almost like a reverse suck in there in the sound. Really, really cool. I want to go back just a little bit. There's something else I wanted to point out. So when he's doing bad man, you can hear again that the little bits of his voice in the background are often centered around those super, super awesome consonants. One more time.
Bad man, no, you didn't think that we were ready for war, and you questioned our determination. Take it back, man, 'cause we're not dealing with your shit anymore. You're about to have an education. Damn man, got the bad man, need to settle the score. There's no way that you can be forgiven now. Bad man, a fucking madman.
Wow. Wow. I think that it's important when we're talking about the Grammys that the songs that are selected as winners are going to be ones that have cultural significance of some sort. Sometimes that is moving their genre forward. And sometimes it's talking about world events. Gosh, y'all, if you're into the Grammys and you feel like the Grammys haven't understood metal, I know that there are so many forums where people talk about this online. It's one of the reasons I want to dig deep into it this year. Check out this article by Loudwire. There's an article that goes through all of the Grammy nominations and winners in metal performance, and also says what Loudwire thinks the winner that year should have been. It was so fantastic, so educational for me to read through that, especially since I don't know some of the bands yet and I've been getting introduced to them on this channel. wow, just amazing. Um, and I really loved the way that they would sometimes select an artist that had that cultural impact. I remember there was one that they'd said should have been Gojira Amazonia, partly because of that current events and how that was portrayed in metal that year. So I could see Disturbed Bad Man. I can see why it would make a really strong Grammy contender this year. Uh, Not just because of the situation with the war in Ukraine, but I think there are lots of conflicts that are happening in the world. I know David Draiman is very vocal about some too. But there's just all kinds. I think many people around the world are feeling outraged at the leaders. And I think that this song actually captures that emotion very, very well. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit. And we'll keep going a little longer.
The determination to get back, man, 'cause we're not dealing with your shit anymore. You're about to have an education. Damn, man, got the bad man, need to settle the score.
Beautiful
There's no
writing.
way that you can be forgiven now, bad man, a fucking madman. Oh, bad man, what's the reason why? Oh, innocence always have to die by your hand. No, I will never understand why these cowards bow to your demands. You're all victims of another bad man.
Okay, I want to get into a few more nitty-gritty vocal things that help him have such an aggressive and forward sound here. One of the big things is that rhyming, and he especially is rhyming on a lot of vowels. If you just say you'll notice that you tend to have a little more spread here. Sometimes teeth are showing more there. Right? And there's a certain bite to the sound. It's not quite a snarl. Snarls often will have a little bit of R mixed in there too, though David Draiman does do that sometimes. But that the brightness of the way that the resonance chamber essentially is shaped, it helps make that have a lot of cut in that vowel. It's a more aggressive vowel just by the fact that you have a bite kind of form in your mouth. I'm going to go back a little bit, talk about a few more things that help make his vocal extra aggressive.
Innocence always have to die.
Ooh, even when he has die, he goes very much towards this bright I. So he's sort of centering that entire diphthong, which is a combination of and E. He's centering it around that shape as well, because as you go through the to the E, you actually have to go through an That's like mega nerd level. If you didn't understand it, it's okay. Just hang out with me a little bit longer here. So this is one of the really interesting things on Hawaii. He doesn't just say why, it's Hawaii. There's an extra push of air right before that makes it feel like just this cry, this holler. Hawaii. When you have moments like that before the word actually starts, it can be extremely effective. It feels like this guttural call that's happened before it's even been able to be formed into a word. One more time there.
Why these cowards bow to your demands? You're all victims of another bad man.
Wow. Wow, that was a ton condensed in just a small instrumental section. I feel like Disturbed often is able to take something that is really, really heavy and maybe a little outside of the box and condense it into a format that feels a little more digestible to general public. And they did that now by having just a structure of the song overall that follows perhaps more mainstream music. But this instrumental section, as a result, has been super, super condensed, and it it felt almost punishing at times with the way it's just screeching. Gosh. Back further. That. As somebody who is intensely studying distortion in voice, one of the things that I feel a lot of vocal distortion and the want for that expression, I feel that that has come from many singers, from listening to guitar in metal and rock, because we hear guitars doing these crazy sounds. And we say, how can I take that expression and make that vocally? In moments like this, I feel really inspire a voice saying, okay, go out there, find out how you can make somebody's heart just cringe by making it sound like the guitar just made just now. Love it. And then hooky. I love the way they dropped out underneath there. David Draiman's vocals are so powerful and so grounded and strong, but sometimes you lose sight of just how powerful they are when you have so many bold and never-ending instruments in the background. There was one other moment earlier where we had it drop out, and here it just was so refreshing to hear his voice plowing. Wow. Just so you know, in order to sing this kind of very powerful, very sustained sound with distortion on it as well, if you're going to do that in a healthy way, you have to be supporting it well. And David will talk a lot about this. The power comes from the breath. It comes from down here. Take a big breath and then use it well. That if you try to just make loud sounds using this and building up tons of tension around this, you will get into vocal trouble. But if you learn how to support your entire system by connecting to a low and full breath, then you can make sounds like this and last for a really long time and still be mega, mega powerful. Back just a little bit. We'll keep going to the end here.
The bad man.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and talk about what happened in this end. I wanted to give it a little more time to play out so I could feel the emotional impact. This song is so emotional. There's the message is very, very clearly communicated. I like the way that they went back and got that chorus in again. I think that was an excellent decision. With this song, excuse me, I am still getting over a cold, but it's almost totally gone. But with this song, what you have is a very hooky chorus. It's something I could already sing back to you if I wasn't hacking up my lungs. And it's something that people will have playing in their heads when they walk away. That's excellent, right? They're trying to get this stuck, and they're trying to niggle into people's thoughts and just take over a little bit in there. That's exactly what you want a hooky chorus to do. And so to make it even hookier, you repeat it again. They did that good structure as far as what a lot of mainstream structures are doing these days. And then we got this crazy outro in the instrumental, which I loved. The instrumental outro has these sounds, which almost sounds like it's rewinding at times. I'm going to go back and listen to it again. Right there, it almost sounds like they took everything in reverse and went like, almost like railroad tracks. And then I love the fact that they've ended it with his vocal, and especially with a very definitive N consonant at the end. This is a very powerful Grammy contender, in my opinion. I'm still going to go deep dive into every single one of these songs, and then I will make a video up that discusses what I personally think should win the Grammys and what I do think will actually win at the Grammys. So if you want to stay tuned for that, I'll release it on the channel soon. Otherwise, here's a list of some other Grammy analysis, and may you fall more in love with music every day.